And Rich, while these call boxes sit on the approaches to the bridge, more and more people continue to jump from the middle of the span.
It makes sense. That's the highest point, right?
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much, Regina. Now, after this report ran, we spoke with the three authorities, former director, you heard, Ramesh Mehta, and we spoke to him again, this time asking about the bizarre location of the call boxes and the fact that people were still jumping from the center of the span. Now, if you watch this show, you know there are not too many things that surprise me anymore, but let's just say Mehta's mind-boggling response did just that. Last May,
Yes.
you were with me on this set, almost a year to the day.
Sure.
And you talked about the Mid-Hudson Bridge, and you called it, your words were a success story. And you said it was an inexpensive solution.
Sure.
But what they did, and you cited the lives that were saved by the Bridge Authority themselves up there and the powers that be, and you wanted to replicate on the Tappan Zee. And to your credit, I said you took proactive action. We didn't have to do what we did up there. But when we look at where the call boxes were, and we just showed it, literally they're 2 miles from the center of the bridge. You take a look at where these are, just as a scope of this, the middle of the span where both people jumped last week. More than that, look at the distances where people, if somebody wants to pull over the Mid-Hudson Bridge that you called a success story, they have those call boxes on the center of the bridge. You have them in some cases 2 miles from the bridge. Obviously not the logical place where someone would go for a lifeline right before they take a leap.
I think it is very, very logical because we have high volume traffic, high speed traffic. We have no shoulder, we have no pullover for the vehicles. We can't actually install the phones right on the span because it will be safety hazard for so many other people who cross the bridge.
Well, let me just remind everybody, because Karen spoke to you about this issue before, and since that interview ran, we've gotten a lot of calls, and I want to give everybody a frame of reference as to what sparked some of this conversation. Again, this was your conversation with Karen DePodden this week.
Stopping. I know you don't want to encourage people to stop to use the phone, but if they're already stopping and they're already, you know, getting out of their cars there, wouldn't it make sense to put a phone there to save, just to possibly give them a second chance?
No, but you know, I explained you that if the people are following here, the car, if he suddenly stops and he wants to use the phone, it can be dangerous for the people who are sitting in this car. It is good that we could save his life, but it will be safety hazard for the people who are following in the car.
The argument that if you have a phone there, people are going to stop the car. No one's going to pull over a car for fun because they're driving 40 miles an hour and they see a phone on the side of the bridge.
People can actually, they can actually mistake the phones for a helpline. Like if there's something wrong with the car, they may mistake that. But the other thing is that we can't take a chance. We can't design to provide the phone on the main span. Well, we can't do that because it can pose the safety hazard for so many other people. You know, we can't design that thing because
They're pulling the cars over now, though, Mr. Mehta. No, they pull the cars over now before they jump to their death.
No, the question is that they can do that, but we can't design like that. As a professionals, we can't design that way because it has been seen by many, many people, experts in the field of this suicide prevention, and they have always thought that it is dangerous to be on the main span.
Okay, but here's, I'm sorry, let me understand this. The logic is they're pulling over as it is to jump off the bridge. 2 of them did it last week, as we tragically know.
Yes.
So if they're pulling their cars over anyway, want to have a phone, so maybe, just maybe, they talk to somebody, and as you said, it's a success story at other bridges, and maybe they get their license. They're not going to pull over 2 miles before the middle of the bridge, talk to somebody on the phone at that point. It's obviously not working, as we saw last week. They're not going for the helplines at the moment of crisis because they're not there.
We can't design the things like that because it will be very, very dangerous, and it will be our liability if we put the phones right on the span.
Your liability, but what about the responsibility?
No, we are responsible. We have done our best. We try to do this in a way that it cannot actually pose a safety hazard for so many other people.
They're pulling over anyway.
That is correct, but it is not our liability, because.
So wait a second. This is about liability.
Yes.
Since they're pulling the cars over anyway, it's not about what could be the best prevention. It's a liability issue.
It is a liability issue also.
I'll make you a deal. If
Okay.
we talk to security experts and they say no, in fact, you can put a call box on the center of the bridge and there will be no more perceptible traffic incident rate, will you agree to put them on?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We should actually, I think we have already discussed with so many other people, and I think the other people who have on the main span or in the center of the span a call box, they should have the walkway, or they should have a bike way or something like that. They should have a shoulder to park the car. I think that is important, because otherwise it is absolutely dangerous to put the call boxes there.
Mr. Mehta, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I got a headache just reliving that conversation. You'll see, though, it didn't end there. Coming up next on this special report, Battle Over Bridge Safety, we're going to show you how many lives here were lost on the Tappan Zee Bridge in the time that we spent fighting to convince officials to put call boxes in the center of the span. Stay with us.